Welcome to the double kettlebell front squat tutorial. I'm Jeff Ford. I'm a physiotherapist, strength and conditioning coach, and I have certified SFG1, SFG2 with Strong First. Love kettlebells, and I love sharing kettlebells with you in a no BS approach. So let's have a look at the kettlebell front squat. So ideally speaking, this would follow on from the goblet squat unless you've been squatting consistently. It should also follow on from the kettlebell clean video. So make sure if you haven't already seen that one, jump in and watch that video first. So it involves a clean up to the rack position. So we also want to really work on that strong rack position, especially once we start to get a bit heavier with the bells. So find that comfortable squat position. Now, when you clean two reasonably sized kettlebells up, sometimes you need a reasonably wide stance. Otherwise, you're going to start bumping things that don't want to be bumped. So you may have to adjust when you actually come to squat. So don't be afraid of taking your time with this process. So your stance for your clean might be a bit wider than your stance for your squat. So first of all, set up for that kettlebell clean. And clean the bells up into that rack position. You can adjust it once you're up here, obviously. Then take the time to find the right stance width for your squats. I like to have a big breath in here, brace, and you can breathe out on the way up or at the top of the squat. But you want to brace for the hardest part of the squat. Let's talk a little bit about bracing. Now, bracing is something that tends to actually happen automatically. Online fitness coaches will sort of have you believe that you've got to work heaps on your bracing. There is a time and a place for that, especially once it starts to get quite heavy and if you are having issues. But most people, most of the time, will do it naturally. We tend to hold our breath, and that is a simple brace. If you want to start working on the skill of this so that as you start to get heavier, it's easier, it's more automatic, then what I like to think of for a brace, keep it pretty simple, but think of this being a big chamber. And you almost want to imagine filling that chamber up. So breathing in and then locking down, as in holding your breath. That's the brace. Let's kind of try and keep it nice and simple for now. So we can integrate that into our squat. So find your best stance width given the bells you're about to clean up. You can adjust it once you're standing for the squat. So clean the bells up into the rack position. Make sure it's a nice strong rack position. Then if you need to adjust your stance, do it now. Now comes the brace. And breathing out then. Then another rep, so brace and up. So side on. And clean the bells back down again. Now, the bracing is in there as an option. When you first start cleaning two kettlebells up and squatting, don't worry too much about the bracing. You're probably going to be using light bells. Your body will do it automatically. It's not a massively dangerous thing to do by not bracing. It's overhyped by some fitness professionals online. But I do think it's a worthwhile skill to practice. It also, I'm puffed. It also allows you to develop that skill, therefore progress up to heavier weights. So it's a nice thing to practice. But if you're doing a set of, say, consecutive squats, you may not pause brace for each one. You're just going to start knocking those out. Your body's going to get used to it, going to get accustomed to it. So that is the double kettlebell front squat tutorial. If you found it helpful, please give it a like. Give me a follow for other tutorials on kettlebells and other fitness skills. And like always, please let me know if you enjoyed this video with a comment below. If you've got any questions, drop those in there as well, and I'll be sure to reply.